Well, we've got potentially a very wild and extreme week of weather ahead across the British Isles, and I endeavour to explain why that is the case in tonight's video. Thanks for clicking on to the Sunday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. The polar vortex, very, very powerful indeed, coupled between the stratosphere and the troposphere, that increases the strength of the zonal westerlies, and we've got all the ingredients coming together as I speak here. We've got one area of low pressure that is causing issues through the course of today. Heavy rainfall as the system is still undergoing a kind of developing stage, pushing up through Ireland, the eastern side of Ireland, over the North Channel and into Scotland. It's front loaded, so we've got a lot of moisture coming from quite a far way south, and that warm, moist environment is allowing some very significant rainfall, very appreciated rain, I would imagine, for many parts of England and Wales, as well as up into Scotland through the course of today. We'll eventually see that rain easing through the course of tonight as the system pushes eastwards and opens the door to drier, clearer, fresher air from the north. But like I say, polar vortex roaring at this very moment in time. We've got the core of coldest air on the planet, centered over the central and eastern portion of Canada. As that cold air sinks southwards, it is going to put pressure on the atmosphere here, because essentially what's going to take place is polar air is going to push towards the eastern seaboard. Of course, we've got a warm North Atlantic here. We've also got warm air as well, lifting northwards. As we squeeze that thermal gradient, we're going to squeeze the jet stream, the pressure gradient, and the winds at 40,000 feet are going to really accelerate indeed here. And we've got tomorrow morning a jet stream exiting off the eastern seaboard of North America, and it's going to accelerate to 242 miles per hour. While it's not off the scale in terms of power, what it is going to do is it's going to set off a chain reaction, and it will set the stage for a very, very turbulent week of weather across the British Isles here, because as that jet stream extends from North America across the Atlantic, eventually reaching the British Isles, what we're going to see is ripples within that jet stream itself that will cause the air to kind of drop into these troughs, these areas of low pressure. And as the air all kind of piles and accelerates from 30 to 40,000 feet, as the little gaps appear within the atmosphere, so to speak, the air is forced to rush in to try and fill that gap. And what happens is you start to pile the air up, and it starts to kind of turn on itself, and eventually what we get is cyclogenesis. So the jet stream is going to extend its way across the Atlantic here, becoming very, very powerful indeed, like I say. And it's along this jet stream, along this demarcation zone between cold, very cold air to the north and very mild air to the south, we're going to have the just the perfect ingredients for a series, a conga line, a storm train, if you will, of low pressure that will have the UK and Ireland firmly set in its sights here. The GFS, by the way, is expecting as much as 6 areas of low pressure to hammer the British Isles between today, which we've got, of course, at the moment, system number 1, to next Sunday. And, I've counted the areas of low pressure, and it is actually as much as 6 individual storms that has the potential to make an effect on the British Isles here. So it is going to be a very, very interesting week indeed. Now, if we look at the 850 millibar temperature chart here off the GFS here, this is the North Atlantic and Europe view, and you can see here that system number 1, as of today, exits into the near continent. We get the cold air coming in the backside. We increase the snow potential over the west and central highlands of Scotland. Nothing really to low levels as such. But it's cast your eyes to the west here over the North Atlantic here, and we increase the gradient here, we squeeze the extreme cold and the very mild air into a very, very tight space, and that forces the winds to really accelerate within the atmosphere here. And of course, as you see, the development of individual areas of low pressure, and you can see the kind of wraparound of cold and warm here. So we've got this ingestion of cold air on the backside, trying to wrap in to the western and southern flank of the system. We've got warm air coming in ahead of that and trying to wrap around the north side of the system, and that is the perfect environment for cyclogenesis, bomb cyclones, whatever label you want to put on it. And these areas of low pressure, with all these ingredients put in place, will deepen to a very, very significant depth. The deepest areas of low pressure that we've seen potentially in a few years for the UK. And it's not just one, it could be two, it could be three very deep areas of low pressure. I expect to see the potential for two named storms between now and next weekend. We're keeping our eyes very closely on a system Wednesday and a system on Friday, and we'll get to that in just a second. But you can see here the beauty of nature coming together here as we go forward. So this is Wednesday. We've got the cold air coming in on the backside. We've got a rush of mild air coming into the British Isles during the course of Wednesday. But then that area of low pressure deepens into the 940s, 950s and millibars. And of course, we squeeze the atmosphere, we force the winds to blow a gale, severe gale, even storm force across particularly the northern half of the British Isles as we go forward here. That system then pushes through. You see a world of cold dropping out of the Baffin Straits into the North Atlantic here. And what is essentially doing is you're forcing the jet stream, the storm track, further south over the Atlantic here. So we're essentially forcing the temperature gradient to increase, because what you're doing is you're driving polar or bitterly cold air into a more southerly portion of the North Atlantic, where the waters are just slightly warmer than what they are with the Wednesday system here. And that could mean the potential for an area of low pressure to actually deepen as it makes a kind of landfall, if you will, over the British Isles on Friday. Now, this is a long way out. Fine details are going to, chop and change, but it's going to be very, very interesting to keep our eyes closely fixed on this, because you can see here, this is the area of low pressure. Keep your eyes on it. Of course, this is seen at with the 150 millibar temperature chart here. But look at this here. We've got super warm air across Spain. We've got super cold air out over the North Atlantic. And in between that, we've got a jet stream roaring overhead at 40,000 feet. And you've got the rapid deepening of this system underneath that and in between here. And that system, as of now, is expected to cross the northern portion of the British Isles here, and then cold air comes in on the back side of it. What's important to note about this feature in particular is the fact that it's coming in from a southwesterly direction, but it's got a lot of cold air associated with it. And of course, if the track stays slightly further south, say for example over the north of England, you've got enough cold air on the northern flank of that system, with of course the wraparound. You've got of course tropical air mixing with polar air, and you've got enough cold air that we could see some very significant snowfall. Now, I'm not blowing this out of proportion. I'm not getting too carried away. It's a long way off. It may completely disappear in the next couple of days. I get that. But I'm trying to show you the potential based on this current model run. And what may happen is, if you've got enough tropical air, you've got a lot of moisture within that tropical air. And of course, as that gets lifted into the cold air, you've got the wraparound and you've got the outbreak of heavy snowfall. And I'll show you the overview chart in just a second here. That's followed by another system, by the way, coming in off the Atlantic as well. A loaded wild pattern is possible. It is going to happen this week, but exactly how stormy it gets, how deep the areas of low pressure are, where the areas of low pressure track, and how much moisture is available, how much cold air is available, all open the question. But certainly this is a very interesting pattern. So system today lifts out into the near continent. We're met by another system that comes in during the course of Tuesday, keeping your eyes, of course, closely fixed on the system behind that, deepening rapidly, and we've got like kind of one arm, one branch, kind of pushes directly eastwards through the kind of southern, central and southern portion of the British Isles into the near continent. But it's this feature right here that we have our eyes quickly um, drawn attention to here. This system looks as if it will kind of deepen, kind of wobble around, and then move through, according to this run at least anyway, with a pressure into the low 960s millibars, very tightly squeezed isobars, so that indicates stormy conditions for sure here. And then as that pushes out of the way, its eyes on this next system. Look at the position further south. It's got warmer air associated with it. It's got very cold air coming in the backside. We'll see this system deepen significantly, and like I say, is all about the track. Where does it come in to the British Isles here? How much cold air is associated with it? Now, at this moment in time, the model indicates as of 6 o'clock Friday morning, there is enough cold air wrapping around the centre that we have an outbreak of heavy snowfall across many parts of Scotland here. Then, as the system crosses the country, it ingests more cold air, and we see significant snowfall indeed, followed by another system, as you can see here, followed by another system again during Sunday, and that would be storm number 6 here. No point really in looking at the snow prospects at the moment. Even the wind prospects, I'm going to probably try and look into that for you tomorrow. But wow, we have got very interesting weather to come over the next 7 days. And of course, keep it right here on YouTube, markloganweather.com. Please like, share my videos as well to your friends and family. And of course, subscribe. I really do appreciate everybody watching the videos, and always hit the bell for the notifications. Keep it right here. Lots going on. I'll be back again tomorrow with more. Bye for now.